Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So,
What's up, y'all?
I do this every time. Bay is here. This is my husband Malcolm. As you can tell from the title, we're going to be doing a video that kind of just recaps our first year of marriage. We recently celebrated our first wedding anniversary, which was September 3rd. So I put together a few questions and you guys submitted a few as well. And we're just going to answer them.
All right, hopefully you enjoy it.
The first question is, did we live together before we got married? And if so, do we advise it?
The answer is yes, we did. We lived together for 2 years and we were engaged for one of those years.
I don't think I can say I advise it per se, but I don't think it was bad. I'm glad that we lived together before we got married.
I can advise it. I think that we live in a new time where it's not as
I guess
culturally wrong or
Yeah.
taboo for people to live together before marriage. I think that it's actually a smart move because you get to learn how living in close proximity with your mate or spouse or whoever it is.
Yeah. And it was also good for us financially because, I mean, I was at his place all the time. So it was kind of like, it was like I lived there, but
you get a real feel of what it's like to support a household with just two incomes.
So when we got married, there wasn't like a transition from living together because we already lived together. We already had a house. We already had stuff. It was just, I think it was much easier too because I didn't want to be planning a wedding and trying to move in and find a house for us like at the same time. That would have been a lot.
And learning how each other like worked, like as far as people acting, like living with each other, like learning about that is pretty important before you decide to marry someone and you're living with them for the first time. You learn a lot about a person when you move in with them.
Yep. Next, what was the biggest adjustment like in the marriage? I think for mine, I don't really know how to phrase it, but it was kind of not daunting, but it felt like a lot to be a wife now, you know, because I have so many friends who are married, and just talking to them and hearing all the responsibilities, I feel like it was a lot. I don't feel like it's a lot different, probably because we don't have kids yet, but just the friends that I have who are mothers, who are married, who are working, doing all these things, trying to balance all of these responsibilities, you know, like he said, being there for your spouse or your significant other, because you do have to devote time to this person. And it's different when you're boyfriend, girlfriend, or fiance, you know, it's just different. I don't know. It's just like a internal feeling, I guess. Like I want to make sure I'm doing enough. Am I doing things right? You know, is this what a wife is supposed to be doing? Like, should I have food cooked every night? Which I don't cook. I'm not good. I'm not a cook. But just that kind of stuff, like battling with this internal, you know, question of what is a good wife and am I achieving that? But, you know.
I think that husbands in general probably go through the same thing. I think that it's not a natural instinct for a man, a single man, especially in their 20s, to think about being a husband and taking care of a family and like what a husband needs to do for a household. So I think that that's an adjustment that wives and husbands make. So the next question is marriage what you expected? And what do you think?
Since it's just the two of us, I think it's what I've expected so far because it's kind of similar to how it was before we got married.
And I think that has a lot to do with living together.
Yeah.
So that kind of set up expectations for, you know, good and bad, like things that you already know you were going to be dealing with going into the marriage. It kind of helped to, you know, supplement those things that when you get married, now you know, okay, well, it's real and it's here. Is marriage hard?
No, I mean, I don't
think so.
I don't think so. But at the same time,
we're blessed, though.
We're very blessed. I was going to say that. We haven't had to experience a lot of really bad traumatic experiences. I mean, it's only been a year. I think the hardest parts have been focusing on, you know, being a better person myself. I think marriage shows you a lot of things about yourself that you may not have known. So just realizing, like, I see a lot of things in him that I wish I was more like I wish I was more patient. I wish I could be a little nicer, a little bit more forgiving.
You don't have to wish. You can just be.
I mean, it's easier said than done. So those are things that I aspire to be. I want to be, you know, just better myself because the better I am, the better I can be in my marriage.
I don't think marriage is hard. I think it's whatever you want it to be. And honestly, you got to be truthful with your spouse and you got to be truthful with yourself about your expectations. So it being hard is really only as hard as you make it.
Yeah, marriage is not 50-50 like people say. It's 100-100. Everybody got to give 100%, make this thing work, and just forgive. And
I think it's a very selfless act to get married.
It's very selfless. It's very selfless. I agree. So the question that we get the most, I think, well, I know I get it all the time.
I get it a lot too.
When are we having kids? Are we having kids? Kids. What you got to say?
The ballot is still out.
Not right now.
I mean, my personal thing is I want kids. I want to be able to carry on this supposed legacy that I'm building, these things that I want for the future. Do not rush.
I really thought that, a year of marriage would be good. I'm gonna wait a year, then we can have kids. Girl, that year came so fast.
Well, and kids in general, they're
it's a lot of work.
Once they're there,
they ain't going nowhere for the rest of forever. Because I'm still be worrying my mom, and I'm 30 years old. So
I'm not ready to have a person depending on me more than her. I feel like she's already.
I'm baby enough.
She's taking up a lot of that dependency stock. So.
Well, yeah, I think we just gonna take our time. We're not really rushing right now. So for everybody asking, the answer is not right now. And if God sees fit, if and when,
right,
then there will be a cute little version of me.
Or me.
Me.
So the next question is, how do we balance our personal and our social lives? And I think that you have to give your partner space in order to still maintain social experiences with their friends. Because if not, they're probably not going to be happy in the end. So what do you think?
I think we balance well. I mean, I consider Malcolm to be a workaholic. I think he works a lot. So when he does go out, I want him to have fun and enjoy himself. And same for me. I have a lot of circles where we get together and do things. And normally, as long as it's not interfering with something that we need to do or being there for the other person, it's fine. We just make sure to take time to be together. And, going out and doing all that stuff is not hard. But once again, I do think that once we have children, we might need to revisit some of these topics just because you'll have to balance an extra aspect that we don't have currently. So,
yeah, I think that with being able to go out, you also have to set limits for yourself. You can't do what you did when you were single and expect your spouse to be okay with it. So there's certain times where you feel like, hey, I might not need to go that extra spot or go out to eat after the club. You know what I mean? You might want to go ahead and head to the house.
Right. And just, text,
keep in touch.
Let me know where you at. We good. So we're pretty good with that.
I've gotten better. I used to be way worse, but, I've gotten better. So pat on my back.
We ain't going to talk about that.
I mean, we can talk about it. I mean, that's what we
It just was it's nothing bad. Just like your phone would die.
Yeah.
And I'm calling, the phone's going to voicemail. I worry, it's just the thing I'm trying to work on. I worry a lot. So my mind instantly goes to, you're a black man, you driving a black car with tinted windows, the cops done got my man, or, you somewhere in the ditch or somebody done hurt you. You just need to just let me know. But just let me know.
And it's funny because a lot of people feel like me, they feel like, hey, I've been out here for this long doing me, I'm safe enough. But I guess anything can happen. So
anything can happen.
When you got somebody worrying about you, just make sure your phone is charged up and check in.
Because I don't have and then I didn't have your friends' numbers.
Yeah.
So I'd be on Facebook trying to friend folks so I can send them a message. I'm that kind. I'd be pressed. Yeah. So, but we don't have those issues no more. I done got better.
Yeah.
As far as finances, did we merge our finances when we got married? Did we change anything?
And the answer is no. And this is one of those debated topics where some of the older generations say, oh, everything should be in one pot. Everything should be, together, and everybody should be spending out of the same accounts, and it just makes life easier. And I agree to an extent with that perspective. I think that it works for some couples. I think the way that we set up when we first moved in together before we were married, we had everything separate and we just communicated. And I think that it actually helps with communication if you have separate, because you're dependent on that person to let you know how things are flowing with your finances as opposed to their finances. And instead of, oh, I just noticed that you used some money out the account and what was it for? You know, if you taking care of business together and communicating about your finances, I don't think it's necessary that you have to merge them.
And we just don't make huge purchases without
talking
about
to
it.
each other. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Last question is, what are our marital goals for the future? I want to work towards being, you know, the best wife that I can be and the best support for him, and to be like, you know, a helper for him and not just be a burden. I want to take some of the load off, because I just know it's hard being a black man in America nowadays, and I just don't want to do anything to make it harder or stressful on him, even though I know I'm kind of needy. I'm working on that. But yeah, just being a better partner, being a better person. I want us to grow a little bit more spiritually. When we have kids, I want to be a really great mom.
I think that going into it, I expected for my goal to be more of a provider. I want to be financially stable. I want to have everything that she wants. I want to be able to provide it. And then everything that I want to be able to provide it.
Come through everything.
You know, it's just like, you know, that's things that I feel like husbands should, you know, bear the load of. And I don't think that wives should just sit idly by either. I think that together we should be working towards the things that we want out of life, whether it be kids, whether it be finances, whether it be multiple houses, businesses, all those things.
All that.
We need to have working together. So I think that those are some great goals to have, and those are the ones that I have. So.
Okay, well, that's it for this video. I hope that you guys liked it.
All right, and see y'all in like 5 months. Because I don't get invited. I don't get invited to the videos.
You can come back. Ugh. All right.
Y'all get some more ideas so I can come back.
Bye.
So next question is, let me start that over. Look good to me.
Thank you. Cute.
You can't be out here just having sex all day.
What? Make sure my wig ain't.
Nothing is happening with
I gotta make sure this wig ain't tangled. Okay. Forever till death do us part. Is it cricket?
Next question is, did we learn? Okay. All right.
Excuse me. Sorry. I got acid reflux.
All right.
All right. Wait, my wig. Okay.
You like that answer?
I guess it's alright.
Why you look like murderous?
I'm just saying, this is forever. I got your pants on.
Kind of try to take them off.
What?